So, Oleander, you are in Lorelai's princess chamber. I, yep, that's how we're starting. Look,
Do I need to put like a viewer discretion is advised thing somewhere?
I swear I don't do it on purpose. Lorelai's room is like a fantasy storybook princess's room. That is what I mean by princess chamber, nothing else. Uh, what is it like, Oleander? What's it like to be Oleander right now?
Oleander is to no pain. I think Oleander is in actual physical pain from a bad self-image. I think that their form has been shuddering a little bit sometimes. They're they only know regret at the moment, right? They feel guilty about so many different things. They've been sitting here apologizing or really just kind of venting to Lorelai for a while now about just everything under the sun, from little shit that they did for a kid to actual stuff that they can reasonably feel guilty for.
Right.
I need to stop myself to do anything like that in the future. I need to.
You will
I
stop
just.
yourself.
You guys should just let me go.
You're so good. You are so good, and you don't even know it. Yep, she looks at Oleander's body. What's it doing?
I think that it's every once in a while it's like cuts manifest on the skin, just all over Oleander's body.
Oh.
Little wounds that they've done to themselves. It's Oleander's eyes shift between their natural gray and bright red. Their hair is darkening and lightening between red and black. Um, and yeah, it's just covered in little wounds.
Is Oleander actually bleeding any?
I don't think Oleander is actually bleeding, but it's like the skin is opened. It is like they have been cut, and you can see inside, but no leaks out.
Wait, and these cuts
Just
are
all.
actually persistent, or
I think they stay for a few seconds, and then they close, and another set opens.
yeah, that's bad.
It's not good. I do think it's getting worse.
Right. Okay, that's enough. We can't just ride this out.
Yeah, it's all for the best. I mean,
You don't deserve this. If you've ever believed me when I've said anything, hear me now. You don't deserve this. I'm going to get some help.
I think they just give a small nod.
Okay, don't move an inch.
Olander
Yeah,
waits for Lorelai to.
she. Ooh, now, Mike, what do you think? Should you actually be alone for a second, or should Oriana knock on the door right now?
Ooh, it's probably for the best not to leave Olander alone.
Right.
Um,
Actually, I don't
It
think
it
Lorelai
would
was
be
gonna leave
funny
you
though.
alone. Either way, I was thinking she would kind of go out into the hall and call for someone.
yeah, that's fair. Fair. I don't think Olander would try anything if she was that close.
Yeah, I do think that's kind of an important image. So, yeah, Lorelai goes to her door and she doesn't break uh eye line with Oleander. I mean, she isn't like looking at them, but she's visible.
Right.
Um yeah, and she calls out into the hall asking for help, which is, dear God, probably the first time you've ever heard Lorelai ask for help like that. Like asking for someone to reach down and help her, as opposed to like, why are you not assisting me? My lesser.
Yeah.
Um, there's a pathetic quality to her voice. And yeah. Yeah, I think Riot comes. Yeah. Riot shows up and exchanges a few words with Lorelai, and you over here asking, how bad is it? What's going on? Um, and she also asks to see Oleander, but Lorelai says it might not be a good idea.
Right.
Um, tells Riot to. Well, that's the thing. Doesn't Riot know bewitchment?
Does.
She sure does. She asks Riot about that, and if she'd be willing to try to use bewitchment to, like, fix this. And she says she might. Let's take a closer look. So Riot steps into the room. What springs to Oleander's mind upon seeing Riot?
Riot was doing better before Oleander asked her to help make them a Cambion. Riot's been backsliding. Oleander's seen. And then Oleander really fucked up in LA. And Riot's been hard sliding. And right now that's all they can think about. And I think they just look up at Riot and a fresh bit of tears wells up in their eyes as they look up at her and a deep gash opens on their face and they like wince and look down and it closes and something ripples in their back. Their eyes burning red for just a few seconds before flashing to gray. I don't think they can words out.
Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, Riot kind of I think first Riot gets onto the bed and hugs you um briefly, but then she's sort of kneeling before you on the bed and looks to Lorelai and then back to you. Me and Lorelai were thinking we could do bewitchment about this.
Let me go. I made your life worse. I'm sorry.
She looks really sad.
They shudder.
You did not make my life worse.
Have you eaten today?
She frowns. You're so kind. Thinking of me, even now that you're going through this.
Yeah, tears. Tears. They don't really. She says, and their face really does like bubbles the wrong word, but it's like someone slaps the surface of a lake, right? The water ripples, and for just a second, they look much more like Malachi than they do Oleander. And it goes back.
Riot shudders. Oleander, I have to do something about this.
And they just
Let me be
weakly
with you
nod.
so you don't feel this.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, tears well in her eyes as she begins to cast. Now, I am gonna make it. I don't know. So part of me is tempted to make it unbound because maybe it has
Yeah,
to be.
I mean that does make sense. It's a spell trying to overcome an ability, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Features are usually stronger than spells. So to undo one, I think it should be not technically active, and should be unbound. So I think I'm rolling unbound. Terrible.
Goes off.
Truly, truly terrible. It always goes off.
I mean, if it's a 29 or a 2, doesn't matter for unbound.
That's fair. You know, Riot isn't going to be doing anything else today. I'll be using all my uses of agitator towards this goal. We'll see if I can explode enough to crit.
That'd be crazy.
Nope. You know, as much as I wish I could use Oleander threads here, I do have 5 of them. You know, if this were a PC, I would totally let them do it, so I will.
That's your call.
Alright, so it's the base 8, and now that's a 12, so we're currently at 20. Last use. Okay, wait, this is doable now. So we are at
Yeah, no,
26.
just
All I need to do is 2 more
spend the
threads.
thread.
Bam. Okay, so I did spend 3 threads, and all of her
Now you have
uses of agitator
a
for
chance
this
to not
one.
explode.
That's right. She has a chance to not explode. Love this game.
It's so good.
So, yep. Yep. So she gains 10 tension, makes a tension roll. Here we go. Ah.
Wow.
So about that
Uh,
explosion thing.
nope. I have a foretelling.
Okay.
I'm going to give her a 16. Do not add modifiers.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, so I think
However,
it really is. It is still complicated, but the way to flavor that, I think Oleander's trying to make it easy. It's feeling Riot's touch in their mind. They just completely surrender to it, dropping all guards, trying to make the spell casting as easy as possible.
yeah. Yeah, though Riot struggles with this much power in her hands, I think just kind of like a deep, dark, ethereal ocean water seems to flow across her palms as she places them on Oleander's temples and goes in. Oleander, you feel at first you were, covered in this, oh God, the squirming vermin of guilt, and now you are plunged into deep, cool ocean water. You feel like you're floating. And here is where we need to ask ourselves, what is the complication? Yes, she gets rid of your guilt, but
Oh, that is Olander locked in their mind for a little while.
if you like.
Could I'm throwing out suggestions here.
Hell, I mean,
What do
yeah,
we
we
think
could
is
go
good
on
for
a whole
the story?
little like brain journey right now if you want.
I mean, yeah, if you want, I'm
Maybe
totally cool
Riot's
with that.
taken along on it. She's dragged along on some sort of
Uh-oh.
yeah. What do you think of that? I don't know. That
Yeah, I think it could be cool. And then, if people want to join too, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, weird. Like, it swept. Oleander's mind is too chaotic. They're not really in control of their, like, mindscape half the time. She's just pulled in.
Yeah, yeah. No, and other people might get called to this thing, kind of like a dream meeting, but purely by accident, purely instinctually by Oleander. Sure, I love it. So as you're
Yeah,
dragged into these waters, you feel almost like a chain connects the center of your being to hers. Uh, Riot is also dragged in, and you are floating in ocean water with her sort of above you, the sun beaming through um, the water. But what expression are you wearing on your face right now? And by the way, you are clear of guilt, or the unnatural guilt. Set back to the normal.
yeah, I think their form goes back to what it was. All wounds close, and there is like a brief of relief on their face as they let out a breath. The magic is gone. A lot of it still there. Not as intense as it was, for sure. They're not feeling physical pain from it, but suffered a lot, like more than Oleander was really aware of. I think so much to make up for, but they open their eyes, and it is that dark, stormy gray again, and they look tired and pain, but grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, Riot smiles down at you at first. When you let out that breath, she closes her eyes and turns her head as the bubbles collide with her face. And then looks back at you, um, smiling to see that you're doing better. And then the tide picks up, and in mere seconds, you are washed up on a very, very familiar beach.
No.
Oh, yes. We're back on
Amazing.
the beach where an angel is pinned to it with 7 swords. And
Yeah.
a storm rages. It is overcast. I'd say even right now it's kind of pouring with rain. Um, do you think there's any evidence of that fight with Malachi here?
I do think that there's like petrified lightning crawling across one portion of the beach
Ooh, yeah.
in the sand, this like blasted scorch mark where one decisive bolt struck the sand.
That's right. It struck you because you targeted him.
Yep. I
Well,
think Oleander like comes to their knees in the surf, coughing, looks up, looks around, and just kind of like slams their fist down in the water and looks around for Riot.
yeah, she's right next to you. Oh, Oleander.
Sorry. Damn.
Yeah, the water is choppy. Another wave is coming, but Riot doesn't care. She hugs you.
Yeah, they hug back. We need to get out of here. Come on. And like looks towards the wave and starts to try to like pull her further up the beach to avoid it.
Roll agility.
Oh no. Agility, you say, not dexterity.
Definitely not dexterity.
That's a 15.
Not quite good enough. The wave bowls you over, and Riot as well. Um, and you are. I mean, your progress is stunted for a second, and it's very unpleasant. You're covered in sand and seawater, but you do manage to extricate yourself from the ocean.
It's sorry. Ah, this place fucking sucks.
It's all right. I didn't expect to be here.
No, what happened? I know you.
I
I
cast
felt
a spell on you. I can see that it worked, but
it. We're in my mind. This
you
is.
recognize this place?
Yeah, it's. We come here during the dream shit sometimes. And Oleander just like looks down at the angel with disgust and turns away.
Yeah, she looks at it with kind of an expression of horror, not really understanding.
Come on, there's places where we can get shelter and like looking the closest place to this, like the arcade is like in this long building right along the beach. So I think like Oleander like tugs on her hand a bit. Come on, we can try to find shelter in there and then figure out what to do.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so with her running through the absolute pouring, miserable rain, um, rush up onto the, well, yeah, rush up off the beach and into the arcade. When you finally get there, the sound of rain, which was hammering in your eardrums, finally abates to the sound of the entry bell. And then when the door closes, finally a barrier between you and the elements.
Yeah, that's and mind you, as they're running past, there were bodies hanging like upside down, heads submerged buckets.
Ugh. Riot took in all of the grim scenery, saying nothing.
Yep.
And now you're in the arcade.
Yeah, the arcade where, oh god, we haven't been here in a while. But as a refresher, um, so the arcade is filled with machines, and every machine has a different person's name on it. They'll have different like mechanics and whatnot. And at the ticket counter, it is just there is a like animated mannequin, and there's all sorts of. It's like a list of activities, and each activity costs a different amount of tickets, with sex being the cheapest and a hug being expensive.
Yeah, I mean, actually, she's gonna cast some minor aquamancy to. Wow, Riot's on a hot streak tonight.
Oh
Gain some
no.
tension. So now she's at 12. But, oh god, wait, and it gets complicated, right?
Splashes onto Oleander.
Yeah, she like, yeah, draws the water out of her hair, but I guess, I don't know, isn't looking or something. Accidentally pours it onto Oleander.
Oleander's like, arms out at their side, looks down.
Actually, it would have been all the water on her body.
Yeah.
Splash.
Wow. And now I'm wet.
Shit, sorry, didn't mean to do that.
You know what? I was already wet. Now I'm just double wet. So it's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, I can. I don't want you to start chafing. Bam! Okay, she draws all of the water off of you onto the floor.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Ugh. Okay, so
You know, I knew that you
I
were brooding, but storm clouds, it's a whole other.
yeah, no, I know, right? Could almost I could read a book in here or something if it wasn't so fucking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks around seeing the prices. What's going on here?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like thinking about it. Um
Is there a fuller list of these activities?
yeah, no, I do think like if you go up to the ticket counter, there's just like a full ass list. And it's pretty easy to see what like oh my god, yeah, no, and there's also like context for some of the stuff, right? Where it's like, quick hug is less expensive than warm hug or like drawn out hug or whatever. Um, I think the running theme becomes pretty apparent very quickly. It's that, sex is like cheap and meaningless for the most part. And mind you, there are more intimate versions. Like there's the whole list is based off of like intimacy and personal meaning and whatnot.
Right.
Um, sex is cheap, but actual like meaningful intimacy is damn expensive.
Yeah, she looks over these and seems a bit perturbed, but then she says, how much if I want to spectate?
For you, no price.
Oh, you're too sweet. Shit, I hope that Lorelei isn't worried about us. I
Oh,
wonder how much time is passing.
any luck? What are the chances that we're in like Avalon time where like nearly nothing has passed yet?
Uh, she shrugs. I did have to cast an unbound spell for this, so don't really know what sort of logic we're working on.
Fantastic. Let me see if I can get us like a portal out of here or something. And I think Oleander's tried to cast an aromancy on the door.
You start to cast an aromancy with every syllable of the incantation that you mutter and every arcane gesture of your hands. Um, you feel it at first, it seems to be just like itching all over your hands, and then you open your eyes as you were closing them and focus and see that there are a bunch of tiny little cuts all over your hands. So you stop casting.
Yeah, I think Oleander just like purses and takes their hand.
And these cuts are persistent.
Stops. Oh man, okay. I can't get us out of here.
Whoa, what just happened?
I don't know. And yeah, I think Olander is trying to like hide their hands a little bit. They're not going away.
Yeah. It's like you stuck your hand into into just a box that gives you paper cuts, you know?
Yeah, but I think Olander's like doing their best not to move their hand at all now. And just like keep their fingers separated so that nothing is touching anything else. It is just a bunch of tiny pins. Okay, I can't cast right now, so
Okay.
shit,
All right,
shit, shit.
let's just no, okay. Hey, don't panic. Let's just sit down, okay?
Okay.
Is there I don't know, she kind of glances around for a good place to sit. Where did you interview Edith in here?
Ooh. I imagine. I forget the exact context, but I was imagining like sitting around or like leaning on some of the arcade machine or some of the machines. Like they could sit on the skee ball. Fucking machine.
Sure. Yeah, on your way down the aisle of arcade machines, we pass by a machine which I believe is named Riot.
Indeed.
What does it look like?
That is a good question. This is why I wish I put more into the arcade, but I think Right would. I think Riot's machine is like Guitar Hero, right? But instead of actually playing music, you have to do is like you use the guitar as a controller and you're controlling a person running around causing as much like chaos as you possibly can.
That's fantastic. Yeah, Riot sees this and I guess kind of in the arcade idling style, we can see like a sample gameplay on its screen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Riot kind of takes this in and all of the kind of punk rock aesthetics of it. She just starts laughing.
Yeah, I think I kind of chuckles a little bit. Goes to like rub their face, and then their hand moves in such a way that it becomes apparent to them yet again that they have a bunch of fucking cuts on their hand and they can't move it. Uh, and they put their hand back.
Yeah, Riot doesn't notice, too busy looking at the machine.
Oh. One of the better ones, I would say.
Yeah, she glances around. Oh, I see what's happening here.
Do you?
Yeah, there's a machine for everyone.
Yeah. You know, when we're fighting proof, I took a hit, and one of the his arcade machine appeared and started spitting out tickets.
Huh. That's kind of deep. You should write a book.
Ha ha! Yeah, if only I had actually thought of it instead of like,
I mean,
it being all subconscious and shit.
your brain made it up. It's
Yeah,
yours.
I guess.
Alright, so how are you feeling right now?
Oleander looks around. Like a manipulator. Okay, play games with people.
Alright. What kind of games have you been playing with me?
No games.
Then maybe you don't need to feel like a manipulator around me?
They look inside. I just feel like I failed you.
You are cutting out a little bit, but
I just feel like I really failed you. I don't know. Right after Proofless, we made a promise, right, that we'd to help each other stick to proving it wrong.
Yeah. Do you not think you've been proving it wrong?
No, not really. I think I don't think I really noticed until that night in LA that I was letting myself slip again. And now I just I don't know. Maybe if I was more real, I would have been able to realize sooner that I was helping to lead us down a path that's bit off way more than we could chew. If I was actually principled, I would have realized that we need to moderate our actions in a way that gets real change at a pace that we can keep up with.
Okay. I don't know what to say. Honestly, now my mind's just wandering back to what Proofless said to me.
What do you think?
I mean, he said that I'm a dabbling occultist at best, which is just wrong.
It does feel wrong. What about the other parts?
I mean, I don't know. He said that I let you all run rampant, be dysfunctional. That I that for me intimacy can't exist without toxicity and dysfunction. I think that used to be true, but I think maybe you and I have been proving him wrong, bit by bit. Reconnecting on purer terms.
I think so. I,
I'll be honest, I think back really fondly to that first night with you and Lorelei. But I recognize now, in retrospect, it was a little bonkers.
I wouldn't have asked you to do that. Mind you, it's I'll cherish that forever. That was beyond special. But I shouldn't put you in a position.
It was a
Sorry.
once in a lifetime thing. I thank you. I'm glad that it was me, but it's scary. Like looking back on it, it's scary that I had that much power over your life. I helped you turn into a demon, and let's be honest, it was the ultimate act of enabling. You weren't exactly stable then. I mean, you aren't exactly stable now. It's just irresponsible to do that. Like, unless you needed it.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, position. I should have thought of that. I promised you I would help you stop enabling people, and then I turned around and asked you to do something like that's fucked. I should have seen that.
Yeah, that's about the way I remember it. It was pretty fucked up. But you know what? I forgive you.
Okay, that does break through a little bit. It's not like it's a weight off of their shoulders, but it's clear on their face that they hear right when she says it, and they believe her. And it does help. Thank
I forgive you if you forgive me for enabling you like that. Just totally irresponsibly. I didn't have any plan for what happened next. I mean, hell, if you look at it from my perspective, I shared a promise with you that I would stop enabling people like that. And then we did that. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And for all the pain it's caused you. Now especially. You were falling apart when I walked into the room.
three of you. I do. We're young, which seems painfully obvious now. It was an exciting mistake to make. I don't blame you. And I forgive you for your part. And honestly, yeah. I wish it was under different circumstances. I wish that we'd gone into it understanding it better. I wish that I wish a million things. But I still treasure the fact that I feel better about myself for it, I guess.
I don't know what you mean.
And it's just all my life I have been told, I'm a Nephilim. My parents an angel. God's on high. That. And that's what I was. So I wish the context around it was different. I wish that safer about it. I wish a million things. But I don't regret being it's like the one aspect of my identity that I have control over, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Gives me hope, yes, that I can be something better than what I am, actually. Because, I don't know, I don't like what I am right now.
Well, you may not like it, but it's living proof that you can be something better, because it's better than what you were last month.
I sucked last month. I still suck, but I really sucked. Alright, we need to... Sorry for dragging you here, by the way. I don't know if I've said that enough. I don't know what you're gonna see here. I'm just sorry in advance. I hate this place.
Yeah, right? It looks so vulnerable and soft right now. Um, it's alright. Hey, do you reckon this is the part in the horror movie where they kiss?
I think, Oleander... Oleander will, like, take her hand. And they get closer to her. I don't know, I guess it, depends on the horror movie. Depends on, depends on how it ends, right?
Oh. You know that I'm the final girl in some brazenly sexual slasher flick.
Oh God, I'm probably gone soon. So if it's not now,
Yeah, she pulls your hand in slightly. She wants you to move, and judging by the look in her eyes as you approach her, she's desperately missed this.
yeah, I do think that's enough for Oleander. Like they, up until now, they really wanted it to be her decision because she was the one who, you know, called the break in the first place. But seeing that, I think they are going to cup her face with their other hand gently, minding the new wounds on it, and slowly move in for like a soft, innocent kiss.
Butterflies flutter in Riot's heart as she kisses you long and soft. Then she undercuts the moment by chomping on your lip.
I think Oleander like it definitely like yelp laughs. Um, it's back. No fair. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
she just chuckles, her wits having left her. She gets up from her seated position and saunters over and kisses you once more.
yeah, I think they 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 like pull her down as she does. And there's yeah, I do think it's they pull her down, um, get a little bit more. They're not gonna back, but they definitely are a bit more aggressive with the second kiss.
Yeah, she seems to like it.
Uh,
But just as you're starting to get into it, you hear a noise from somewhere else in the arcade, a creature moving.
and like a cold uh, bucket of water, Oleander is pulling back immediately to look. We're alone.
She sort of lowers her stance a little bit and glances, trying to look between the aisles of arcade machines at whatever it was. It sounded pretty far. Sound echoes through the empty, dusty, cobwebbed arcade interior. There's no further noise. And here's where I'm gonna call for a break of just like a couple minutes. So would you mind
No,
pausing the recording, Tal?
I will pause it. Unpause.
So yeah, there is a tense moment in the silence of this arcade that you really wish was abandoned. And whatever it is doesn't make any more noise. Right, looks at you, worried expression on her face.
I think Oleander like stands up, um, hand on her shoulder, like one hand around her waist, another hand on her shoulder. It's gonna be fine. Look, Kat, if this is your idea of a joke, it's really not funny.
Who's laughing? Malachi's voice.
Yeah, I think at that Oleander's face goes white, and they take like a half step back. Oh my god, Riot has met Malachi-ish, kind of.
Yeah,
Riot would
she's seen him in
recognize.
person, yeah. She kind of cocks her head. She's pretty much put two and two together, but wants to see it with her own eyes to know for sure. So she does kind of try to peek between the machines to see where this creature is. You can't hear it moving around right now, but and it's pretty distant from you still.
We should get out of here.
Okay, let's go. Is there a back door?
Uh, yeah, actually, if we go all the way through, it should come out into another side street.
Okay, let's go. Quick and quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Oleander will nod and try to creep around.
Okay. Do you wanna? Are you focusing on stealth or speed?
Ooh, stealth, I think.
Okay.
Got a
Roll
better
thievery
chance of that.
with a plus D4 from Riot's help.
Wow. 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 13.
Astonishing. Truly astonishing. Okay, take Riot's moral support, add a plus D6.
16.
I wanted higher. I wanted a
Yeah, no,
17.
I don't blame you. Do I have anything to help with this? I don't. I have nothing to help with this.
So as you're kind of like crouch, like kind of crouch running,
Yeah.
stealthing around, like you're in some kind of horror movie or something. Uh, you do accidentally collide with one of the big thick black wires connecting to like the laser guns on some game or other. You bump
Right,
against
right.
it, pulling the gun out of its sheath, clattering onto the floor, and then you hear movement elsewhere in the arcade.
Like cursing, and now I'm just gonna go speed up. Oh, let's go.
Okay, yeah, you break into a run with Riot, and you hear the creature. Um, I mean, at this point, you just hear Malachi running just on the other aisle of the arcade. All he has to do is cross over into your aisle. I mean, catch up to you first and then cross over to your aisle. So you
Right.
run, and you're going pretty fast, but let's see how fast. Agility plus D4.
Not very fast. That's my guess anyway. Yeah, it's a 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's like dream logic, right? All of Oleander's limbs are heavy now. The terror is setting in.
On the final stretch to the door, look at me. You can't run from me. He just sort of says that between labored breaths as he is like full speed running, same as you.
I think it's enough to make Oleander's like hesitate in their step, and they have to look back. They have to meet that challenge. That can't be true anymore. And with like eyes wide with horror, looks back towards Malachi.
And you lock eyes with him. In the darkness, his eyes just a little red.
You're nothing anymore. The
Then why
memory.
am I everywhere? Yeah, so I mean, I guess honestly, he kind of yells that as you are running through this arcade, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
finally arrive at the door, and you just hear the end of that sentence before you finally fling it open, and there's pouring rain outside. Riot's with you, and you manage to get outside. Do you try to fiddle with the door at all, or are you just gonna run?
I think that we're out of magic, but I think yeah, Olander is going to slam the door shut, manifest their chain weapon if they can, one of them, and try to like hastily tie it shut.
Hmm. Okay, I like the idea. Yeah, yeah, I'd say no check required. Actually, no, you do need to do this fast. He's running. Okay, yeah, roll dexterity.
Oh wait, I'm defeated, so all these rolls are lower. Or they
Whatever.
automatically
Just
fail? Okay.
just treat it like you're not under any badness right now.
Okay. Well then that's a nat 20.
Oh wow. Yeah, with shocking skill and speed, you manage to chain the door shut just barely as Malachi collides with it. Immediately starts banging against the door.
Yeah, I think Olander stumbles back. Just a memory. And turns to run right up the street.
There's no point of averting your eyes. You're gonna see me by accident. Look out for reflective surfaces.
I think as Malachi yells that, Oleander like glances at a storefront window. There he is again.
The window cracks as if in response to your gaze. Or really in response to Malachi's presence. I'm inside you.
Ghost. And I think Oleander says it more to themselves than they do anything else. Instead of trying to convince themselves that that's true. And as they're running down the street, pouring rain, bodies in the wind, missing posters everywhere. The woman's face, dark hair, glasses, wanted, missing. Last seen 10 years ago. Face is unfamiliar to Riot, and there's no name on it. But Oleander just runs.
Riot runs hand in hand with you. You, distracted by the posters fluttering in the monsoon wind, um, distracted by the headless bodies, which some of which you can recognize, or not headless, but upside down bodies, their heads in buckets, some of which you can recognize even just by the shape of their body. Distracted by that, you don't see the full-length mirror standing in the middle of the road until you are close enough to hear the voice coming from it.
Yeah.
He says, "You can't feel it right now because you cheated. But you know it's true. Take a look."
I think Oleander's eyes widen. They're not able to stop themselves. They're too. It's too much of a fixation for them. They have to look.
What? Hey,
And they
don't give
do.
in to that fucker. Oleander, look at me, not him.
And yeah, I think Oleander will turn to Riot. And they go to say that Malachi is right, but I do think there's a part of Oleander that's like, how can I say that to her right now? After that conversation, after everything she's done for me today, how can I then look at her and say, I am that?
Such
Even
sweet words your friends tell you. Such sweet lies.
I think Oleander close their eyes, like a vein is popping in their head. They're running through this equation 1,000 times.
Riot's face was pleading before you closed your eyes. She grips your hand tighter and tries to pull you a step further away from the mirror.
Think
You know I'm right. You know you're right. You didn't believe a word. Forgiveness. Bullshit.
no. No, that's where you're wrong. Look, I think Oleander doesn't move when Riot tugs them towards them, but their grip does tighten on Riot's hands. And they open their eyes again, and there's anguish, but there is fire. Maybe I am you. Maybe I am that kind of monster. But I give in to that now. That's all I ever am. You're a memory, Malachi. I'm still alive. And now I'm going to keep moving forward.
As you talk, Malachi doesn't say anything, but you eerily hear the sound of the ocean approaching and hear someone's footsteps in the sand and then in wet sand. Are your eyes open right now?
Yeah, I think they had just opened their eyes. And
Riot can't
now,
help herself. She glances between you and the mirror and seems really freaked out by what she sees.
and then Oleander is going to turn to look.
In the mirror, you don't see a reflection of what's happening here. You see yourself walking into the ocean.
Oh. And I think Oleander's grip on Riot's hand loosens a little bit. And they don't look away. They just stare at it.
The figure swims out deep and then stops swimming. And you're not there, but on your next breath in, water comes in.
I think Oleander immediately reaches for their throat. And they wobble a little bit on their feet and they cough. And they
Water
spit
comes
up salt.
out, water comes in.
And they fall to their knees, both hands at their throat. They can't breathe. It's just fire. Salt. They try to
Riot
cough it up.
says a lot of things quickly. She's trying to gauge the situation. She understands that the correlation between you and what's happening in the mirror, and she starts to cast something. You're just overwhelmed with that sensation. Somehow your consciousness already fading from the lack of oxygen. And just as she starts to cast something, your vision is darkening, and then the mirror in front of you cracks, and you feel your bones shatter in the same pattern. And then you wake up with a start.
And I think, they wake up with the start. They'd suck in fresh air, coughing, just over and over again, trying to clear a throat that has no water in it.
Riot has a much groggier wake up process. Eyes straining against the bedside table's light. Lorelai's there. She rushes to your side and clutches your arm.
I'm here. I'm here. And then looks over to Riot. She's waking up in that relief.
Yeah, she's awake. She covers her eyes with her elbow.
I'm sorry. Both of you, I'm sorry for dragging you into this.
You really gotta stop apologizing.
Yeah. I'll work on it. And I think, yeah, Oleander will, I think with one hand, like, clutching one of Lorelai's hands as she comes to them. And the other's just hanging loosely there for a second. They just kind of laugh. And they bring that other hand up to their face as if they're going to, like, rub their face and then check it for any marks like they had in the dream.
You're clear. You're good.
That's a good sign.
I wanted to be here, dummy. I wanted to help you. Yeah, she kind of reaches blindly. I guess her hand kind of lands on your thigh. Um, just sort of gives it an affirmative, like, sort of grab.
Yeah, I think Philander will put that other free hand over hers. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
Anytime.
I don't say that. I might make this into a habit.
No, yeah, that would be exhausting.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, I get the attention of, like, what, two beautiful girls? Come on.
Oh. She's clearly flattered, but just kind of groans and rolls over in response.
Yeah. Hey, give me a break. I'll get better material when I'm not dying.
Meanwhile, Lorelai's been, I guess, just covering your face in kisses. She is so
Yeah,
relieved to see you not exploding.
I think they Linda, like, opens their mouth to apologize again to Lorelai and then closes it. I wish you didn't have to see that.
I wish that you didn't have to see me at my weakest either. But here we are. Yep, she hugs your head to her chest.
I think they nuzzle into her. I Fred says there's only one place to go from here, right? We get back up.
Yes. We get back up.
What time is it anyway? I feel like that was hours.
Did you eat anything before we left?
No. No, I did not. Now I'm starving, come to think of it. I'm hungry. You hungry? You both hungry? We should do food.
Great. So yeah, you make your way downstairs. I don't know who is on breakfast duty.
Amaya said she was.
Oh, was she? Great. Oh yeah, she was.
Which, how is Amaya's cooking?
Uh, I think it probably leaves a lot to be desired.
Follows the recipe exactly, but there are shells in these eggs.
Uh, yeah, something like that. I think that's a fair assessment. But it's still food that someone else who cares for you made for you.
Indeed.
Uh, well, Oleander, you were defeated by stress, which means you gained a trauma token.
Indeed.
Well earned, I'd say.
Yeah.
However, then Oleander or not Oleander, Lorelei and Riot tried to comfort you, and I don't think either of them are going to be holding back. Holy cannoli! Okay, my friend, I need you to lose 8 stress.
The kind of thing
Okay.
Cyan could never get.
And, yeah, and I'll let you. Oh, hey, threads. Threads on you. Great. Love those.
Threads on Oleander. Honestly, they're probably for the best that they have threads on Oleander.
Yeah, these two, they need as many as they can get.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Both of them needed it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that's all we've got for tonight. As
Yeah, I
you
think that makes sense.
eat breakfast with your loved ones and feel a little better, but you also know, you know, um, you don't know who cleaned this plate. They did a really good job. It shines. It is reflective, and you do catch a glimpse of another face in your plate before food is put on it. He's still in there. You didn't win. You started to stand up to him, but it's a bigger process than that, and you know it.
Took the first step, though. Didn't laugh out of myself this time. Didn't feel pathetic for once. That counts for something.
Don't drown in your feelings, Oleander. If you walk into the ocean alone at night, there'll be nobody there to pull you out. And with that, scene. It's over.
Right, recording